Hello, everybody. Welcome back to another episode of The Sesh. I am your host, Raveheart, here, as always, my best friend, my co-host, my partner in crime, Taylor Surreal. What's up, man? You ready for this one? You ready for this,
Oh, I'm ready.
Styrian Grand Prix
Ready.
debrief?
Let's go.
literally the meme I sent you to,
It's right
get you
here,
to log up.
correctly my mark.
All right, so let's get into it. We got the race recap from the Styrian Grand Prix, the Red Bull Ring, Spielberg, Austria. We've got Max Verstappen coming in P1. Okay, I know the 24-second margin of victory is skewed because Lewis, pitted at the end to steal the fastest lap, but it's like, if you're already so far back that you feel it's necessary to pit to steal that last point,
Absolutely.
you were getting slapped. So it's like,
This is Mercedes.
yeah, I don't know if it's like going to be consistency or whatever, but it's like, I know everyone's counting them out right now, and I don't think that's a smart call.
No.
We'll get to that later. So yeah, P2, Lewis Hamilton. P3, Valtteri Bottas. I was close. But
I was close as well with P3.
we'll get there. P4, we had Checo Perez, who almost caught Valtteri at the end of the race. Which I'm like, those AWS graphics are starting to bug me. Because it's like, oh, he's going to catch him in 5 laps. And then it pops up again later on. He'll catch him in 5 laps. Like, seriously, Jeff? Like, get your Chrome Dome shit together and figure out the graphics. Is like, you're making crap worse for us. I don't understand what's going on. Remember, I watch these races thoroughly toked. So, like, when random information pops up on the screen that is by no means helpful, I just get confused. But alright. And then coming in P5, the Mr. Consistent, Lando Norris.
My man.
Too bad you had him a little further up.
Hey, he was in third for several laps in the beginning. You saw that shit.
Yep. And then, obviously, here's another topic that we're going to get to later on, but it's like, as a Browns fan, I empathize with George Russell. It's just like, dude, I get it. You are trying your best. You're like a Cleveland Browns rookie quarterback. You are wading into this shit neck deep trying to do your best, and, like, he is out driving that car, and he just keeps getting fucked. Like, I feel bad for him. But
well, is he doing the best he can do with what he's got, or is he failing with what he's got? I don't know if he's failing with what he's got. He's doing okay in his pack, in his area of the pack. Is he doing all right? He's not Leclerc, where he moved up like 8 positions. That's what I would like to see.
What my whole thing's like, if he could get a Williams into 8th place. 8th place in a Williams. Like, again, it's like, what could he do in a Mercedes?
Well, exactly.
It's like, extrapolate that out, he would be up there with...
We know this.
Yeah. But all right, let's... yeah.
He's the best in the back. But not because of skill. Sorry.
This week, we're launching a new award for let's just call them interesting performances. I'm gonna throw the Tour de France meme up on the screen right now, but the inaugural Sesh Grand Prix Golden Cock Award is going to Charles Leclerc for going full demolition derby into turn 1.
And almost into not turn 2, but like after turn 1. He was still, that's like...
Yeah, he was just rolling through fucking people up.
That's when he clipped the tire, flattened the tire, like after he came out of the...
Yeah, it's like...
Was that Gasly, by the way?
Yeah, like I was upset about that. Because you know I'm a Gasly fan. It's just like... It's like, come on. He's pulling, like... Him and Lando are, like, the kind of the top of the midfield right now. And it's just like... I had a feeling Pierre could have done something this weekend. Like, pulled something out. And it's like... Alright, Mr. LeCluckles. We're gonna fuck that up. You know, not even a full lap into the goddamn race. It's like... So yeah, he has earned that award big time. But now it's time to move on to the Predictors Championship results from this week. And Taylor, I'm sorry, but we have to hand out the second Golden Cock Award for Taylor dropped a goose egg this week, everybody.
It's okay.
It's like it was bound to happen. It's bound to happen to both of us at some point. I'm like, I will get mine before the end of the season, I'm sure. But it's just like right now the totals. Let's actually go through them all. Actually, I have a 41-2 lead right now in the Predictors Championship.
Go ahead and explain.
So, I had Verstappen P1, Bottas P2, Norris P3. So I got my 15 points for Max Verstappen getting the win.
I don't remember this. Hold on.
Yeah.
That's what you had selected?
Yep. And my pole sitter,
recall that at all.
My pole sitter was Norris, and my fastest lap was Max Verstappen. I didn't get either of those. You had Hamilton in P1, Verstappen.
I'll have to review.
Yeah, I went back and watched the video just to make sure that I had it right. But it's like...
I remember you talking about having a crazy, like, roulette lineup this time.
Well, dude, I had Valtteri finishing P2. Like, after the way
I don't remember you having Verstappen, though. I'll have to review. But it's okay. Go on. I don't really care.
It's like, my whole thing's like... I couldn't not pick Max to win last week. Like, because it's just... Dude, he's got that, like, fuck you, I don't care if you're better than me, I'm gonna win attitude right now. And it's like, as a degenerate gambler, I can't go against that. It's like, when the dude's got the hot hand, you roll with it. And it doesn't seem to me that his hot hand is gonna end anytime soon. And it's like, and we'll get to this later on, but it's like I think Mercedes is due for a comeback. Like something is going to happen, but
maybe.
Like, yeah. But with as bitchy as Lewis has been lately, it's basically like,
well, and how nerfed their car is.
Yeah, it just feels like right now Mercedes is on the back foot, and the only people who are there to take the points are Red Bull, and like no offense to Checo, but they're gonna give Max the preferential treatment because he's fucking Max and he's Red Bull's golden boy. There's no way he won't be the one getting the benefit of the team's strategy. In my headcanon, that's how I see it. It's like if for whatever reason Max screws up and Checo is at the front and he's pushing for the win and Max isn't, then Checo is going to get the benefit of those calls. But it's like this race, Max comes in and actually, you know what? Let's move on to the storyline, and we'll get to this because that's the second question that we're going to cover. So yeah, first storyline. Mother Nature fucked us. Hard.
Well, yes. Yes and no.
Dude, our entire preview episode was about, aquatic shenanigans. And there wasn't a drop of rain on that track until the podium.
Correct. However, and I might be getting ahead of ourselves a little bit, but the next race is at the same track with a 70% chance of rain.
Yeah. So we're getting there.
So did it totally fuck us? Maybe it fucked us a little bit for this race, but we took a gamble, 50-50 gamble, literally, and it didn't pan out.
Yeah, no, it did not. Yeah, it did not pan out. And by
it was a boring race because
of
it. Relatively boring. If it wasn't for Leclerc with his shenanigans in the beginning and then climbing like 8 positions. By the way, Formula One didn't even really cover Leclerc, catching up all those positions. They were just watching the top 3. So I didn't know about it till later on. I'm like, holy shit! Why wouldn't they? Where was the camera? Why wouldn't the camera on?
It's in the little like pop up.
I know, but like.
Yeah, I know. And when you're watching it on your phone, it's impossible to fucking see what's in that screen.
And if somebody's climbing like that, put the attention on them until the attention goes back to Max and Hamilton.
Okay.
And everything.
It's basically like at this point, if the gap between Max or Lewis and Max is at like 10 seconds, and the way the pit strategies have worked out, it's like they know in race control what pit strategy they're on. They have that information. They can share that with the broadcast and be like, look, there's no viable way for this gap to close in any meaningful time until now. Like, they'll be able to tell you when that will happen.
Let's go look at something else that's
happening. Let's go watch, Leclerc's recover from his own fuck up. It's like, here's my whole thing.
Which was amazing.
Probably should have been there. Like, he finished where he should have finished, but he never should have gotten into the position that caused him to have the massive drive that he did. It's like, hey, you don't fuck up the start. You finish there anyway.
He even said at some point on the radio, I think at the end of the race or something, he said that, yes, he thinks it might be his best performance he's ever done. However, he's so fucking disappointed.
Yeah.
Like, he's just so upset because at the same time, it was like the best and the worst at the same time from what he said.
He drove the absolute tits off the car, but couldn't get it done.
Couldn't do anything really worthwhile. But god damn it, did he drive.
Yeah. And then, all right, so let's go on to number 2, which I have here. Here's the title I have written down for it. I'm proud of this one. Mad Max goes full Thunderdome on Sir Lewis, wins by 24 seconds. Like, it's too...
And then does a burnout as he's crossing the finish line. What a legend.
Yes, and then the F1... I want to know who complained. I want to know who's like...
It was Lewis. Lewis wrote an anonymous complaint under the name Karen. And he fucking complained. Bro, I was not a Lewis fan. I've said this countless times on this podcast. However, now I am officially a Mad Max fan.
Yeah.
I'm officially a Mad Max fan.
It's like I'm not a Lewis fan. Not at all. Like, I feel the same way about him that I do about people like Tom Brady. It's like, look, under no circumstances can I discount the magnitude of your achievements.
Correct.
But that does not mean you are not a little bitch.
Exactly.
It's
There's
like
respect.
It's like that guy. It's like that guy that you're playing against, who, like, in whatever sport, who's always whining for calls. It's like who's in the ref's ear, like constantly, just chirping the whole time, like, oh, he's doing this or he's doing that. Granted, I was always one of those people who saw rules more as a loose guideline than something to be strictly followed. But it's just like, fuck you, dude. It's called gamesmanship. Get over it. That's what F1 is about. It's like, if you're not cheating, are you really competing in F1?
Exactly.
And what I also want to say is, like, he has had the benefit of the best cheats for the last decade, basically. And now that somebody else has better ones, he's getting salty. And I'm like,
of course.
I'm not going to lie, I kind of fucking love that.
See, I love that he's not up there anymore and that he's getting sour. I love that. Because that's always kind of what I didn't like about him, was his, for a lack of a better term, personality. His real one, not the one you see on camera at the podium fucking plateau. I'm talking the real one where he's chirping in the ear and he's always whining and he's complaining. He's sending in complaints about bendy wings and shit. And when he's doing the same shit, I'm like, this guy is a piece of work, is what Mr. Lewis is. A piece of work.
It's like everybody else. Like, you go on F1 Twitter after the Baku race. It's like everyone's like, oh, it's so sad for Lewis. It's blah 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 blah. I'm like, oh, I was like, remember the all the Big Ben crying memes after the Browns beat the Steelers in the playoffs? It was like Cartman. It's like, oh, get like oh, your tears so salty. I love it. Like, I it was just poetic justice that you did something so innocuous and so stupid. You're, 7-time world champion. You're the best. You were coming off a fucking, a standing start off a red flag, and you fucked it. And you fucked it so hard on international television that the memes are still getting traction on fucking Reddit. Like, I love that shit. Unlike, Tom Brady, who goes to Tampa Bay and wins a fucking Super Bowl. Like, God.
Don't you bring that evil back into my life right now.
It's just like, how bad do you think Lewis feels? 24 seconds. Like,
the dude's devastated. He's not showing it, but he's devastated. He's trying to keep it in control. I saw him at the last podium trying to keep it in control. He's being kind. He's being congratulative, very keeping it in. But I know he's just.
It's like it's like the Nico Rosberg hat toss in the cool down room. Like, it's if that scenario was allowed to play out now, oh god, that would be great. Just Lewis Hamilton, throwing bows.
I would love to see a tantrum. This is drama. We're on the biggest stage here of racing. I want to see drama.
Speaking of drama,
I want to see sportsmanship. I don't want to see that. I want to see drama. These are real. This is a lot of money going on. This is real shit. Sorry, continue.
But yeah, speaking of drama, let's talk about George Russell. Just, dude cannot catch a break. And it's like, what does he have to do? Is it like, because I don't think it's him. I think we.
It's not him.
It's definitely fucking Williams, which, it's like, look, I get it. Like, they're a small independent F1 team up against the likes of a multi-billion-dollar marketing company in Red Bull, and fucking Ferrari. It's like, and Mercedes, who's part of one of the largest auto groups in the world. It's like, I get the level of the challenge they're up against, but come on. Like, you've got a future world champion in your car, and
Exactly.
you can't give him just that little bit extra to get him over the line. Just to get him some points. Like,
I don't think they can. I don't think they can, or somebody's. All he has to do, from my eyes, is he needs to continue doing what he's doing. That's it. Because everybody else knows the talent he's got. All the teams do. It's not. It's very clear. All he has to do is keep doing what he's doing and wait for that phone call. He can't let it get in his head. He can't start getting sour. He needs to just stay focused and continue on what he's doing. And I think that call's going to come. I do.
I also feel like at a certain point he may get his, Senna at Monaco moment.
That's possible as well.
Because it's like, which, by the way, one of my favorite liveries of all time, the Italian, it's a appliance manufacturer called Candy down the side. That Tolman that he drove in the rain against Prost at Le Mans. Like, that, or not Le Mans, at Monaco. But it's like, that one's like, Senna had no right to be where he was. But because the conditions were so shit, it leveled the playing field that much that he could fight amongst the leaders. If we can get a scenario like that, and Lando doesn't take the win from him, I have a gut feeling that that he needs that moment in a Williams to kind of get him over that line.
Yeah, I think that'll be just a bonus for his career at where he's at right now. That's a fucking awesome bonus.
Yeah, it's like
if he could do that. Ooh.
If he can just get himself into the points once, I think that's worth Toto saying, "Hey, all right, we got to give this kid a shot." Like,
I'm low-key thinking they're already, regardless of the grovel in the paddocks or whatever you're hearing on YouTube.
Yeah,
I think this decision's almost already done.
Let's talk about what's going on in that paddock right now. In this week's big question, is Mercedes in trouble?
Yes, they are. They are in big doo-doo. Big doo-doo. They need to do something. If these magical parts that are showing up in the van to help them out is going to be a thing, or was that? No, that was Red Bull.
That was Red Bull.
That was Red Bull. But Mercedes is talking about, like, yeah, we might bring in power unit upgrades. We might bring in aero upgrade. Idiots. What are they doing?
I don't know. I just think it's funny that you're like, oh, parts out of a van. Like, it's like one of those like 90s panel vans with no window. It just has parts spray painted across the side. Like, and you just see the back open, then a bunch of smoke, and then Christian Horner walks out like with a cardboard box full of parts under his arm. And that's just what but no,
I'm assuming wrapped in some kind of bubble wrap or something because it's all carbon and they're trying to be.
But it's like, yes, I do think they are in trouble, but I don't think it's for the reason that everyone is pointing to. It's like, yes, yes, Red Bull have found pace, but what the issue is to me, it's they've been on top for so long.
Exactly.
That it's like it is impossible to prevent complacency from creeping in after a certain point. And I feel like Mercedes is definitely at that. Like, yeah, they're still pushing. They're still at the top. They're still almost there. But it's like, it happens in every sport. You'll have your dominant
every sport.
Yeah.
UCLA. Everything. All the dynasties. They all fall.
Eventually.
That's basically what they had. It was a dynasty in F1.
I feel like they like maybe it's just like the modern consciousness and the fact that we can't focus on anything for more than 15 minutes at a time, but it's like, you know, it's when somebody wins 7 in a row. It's like it's hard to feel like they're ever going to lose.
But from their point of view, it's also like hard to view like how do we make it 9 or 8 or 9 or 10? Like it's almost like a car trying to hit 300. Like once you get to a certain point of like in a row, it just becomes nearly impossible. Like the amount of effort to get you 1 point more ahead becomes like massive versus back when you're way down low.
It's the last 10% of your performance takes 90% of your effort and time. It's like when you're dealing with a sport that's measured in milliseconds, like there's only so far that you can push yourself. I think right now, Mercedes is at the top of that power band and engine is about to fail, but it's like I wonder, like Mercedes will never be the next Williams, I don't think.
No,
because they'll leave the sport before that happens.
They got too much money. They got too much prowess. It'll never happen, I don't think. But you're right. They'll leave before that ever.
Yeah, but it's also like, back in the day when Williams was just unfucking touchable, and then the FIA came in with the ban hammer, knocking out basically just giant parts of their fucking car. It's like, I know that like the aero testing rules have all changed basically to fuck over Mercedes and Red Bull. Like all these different things. Are we going to get to a point where, I think the answer to this question is going to be yes. I think with all the restrictions that are coming through, it might be a longer than we think before Mercedes is back up fighting for titles again.
Yeah, I think so. I can even see them falling down to middle of the pack like Ferrari kind of is right now for a couple years or so with the nerfs and the restrictions, because you got to somehow level it in some way so the multi-trillion billion-dollar organizations can't just pay their way.
Yeah.
You got to make it interesting. You want views. You want ratings. So, yeah.
But all right, guys. So our next race is this weekend. We're back at the Red Bull Ring for the Austrian Grand Prix. But we'll see you guys in the preview video. Adios.